Yeah, buddy. Yippee-ki-yay. No freebie commercials, people. There's enough of that stuff going around. We've been playing a lot of Christmas music, and boy, they want to shove them commercials in that Christmas music all they can. I don't know
Yeah.
what that is, but they surely does. Jeffrey, we'll be having a lot. Yeah, well, we've been playing Christmas music since the 2 days before Thanksgiving. Yeah, we do it the same way radio stations. When a radio stations officially start, we usually start. Even though I noticed last 2 years they started a little bit earlier. Most of the local radio stations started playing Christmas music the second week of November. Well, that's the anger in my head. You don't see that red coming out of it. It's about to burst out and come get one of you people. You better watch it, people. You see that? It's them psycho powers up there. Yeah, look. See now, look in my hand. I see. There's my lightsaber right there. You best chill out, folks. It's no, actually, you can't. Oh, let me see if I can show. It's too much light here. Y'all can't really see right now. But for later, for one of the other shows when it's a little darker in the room, it's just a thing that goes on your house that makes red and green and blue colors all over the walls. It just happens to be in a studio at the moment, making colors all over the walls. I put them in my house. Oh no, because I got cathedral ceilings, Jared. No, and they look great. I have a star overlay that I put in my living room during Christmas, and then we have another set of these type of lights that go on there as well. So all the walls and windows are lit up, and they all got garland around them and stuff. And then these things kick on. You think you're in freaking Santa Claus's house, man, when you come up in here. There's pictures online. Go look, they're all over the place. But anyway, what's the holiday season? John's going to be what do you mean a rubber band gun? No, we can't give him a rubber band gun to shoot at the people on the float. Shame on you, Bruce. Damn. You from New Orleans, aren't you, Bruce? Yeah, I kind of when you said that, I kind of figured. Well, you see, there's a thing in New Orleans, people. If you're riding on a float and you're not really throwing stuff like you're supposed to, these people got these. They call them rubber band rifles, and they got these big, thick rubber bands. They'll sting the living crap out of you to get your attention. Yeah, usually people get mad and just start humming stuff and not realizing that they're throwing bags of beans at stuff. It gets crazy, I gotta tell you. But in LA, it's much more refined, much more laid back. People are behaving themselves.
Which LA are you talking about?
I'm just hoping there ain't no burning of any floats or anything like that going on out there. No, Jeffrey, they can't have real reindeer anymore. No, they get high going down going down Hollywood Boulevard. They can't. Reindeer be walking sideways. You can't have that, man. It's I'm surprised they even let it have it out there with all them potheads out there. It's ridiculous. That's my only complaint about LA, to be honest with you. And there's a lot of stuff out there you can complain about, but really, it's the only one that bothers me. All the rest of them, everybody leaves me alone. Yeah, a lot of people from LA, you can tell they know I'm a tourist. They go get on the other sidewalk. Let's get out this guy's way, man. Does he have an alligator in his back pocket or something? Yeah, so you got to watch. No, it's really, honestly. So since I've been in the Navy, it's got to be close to 30 visits, 20 something, and then with y'all, it's like 7. So I mean, for me, most of the part, I hate to say this because I know Mayor Bass somewhere is going to have an orgasm. But I gotta say, for the most part, LA's been a nice visit. I managed to get into some of the neighborhoods with Chris, that bad boy, and I don't know. Everybody's been very nice to us there. Maybe that's why. But I also remember, people, I don't live there. John has to live there. I live way out here in the bayou, where it's peaceful and quiet and dark, and your neighbors tend to leave you alone because they're scared you might shoot them. Yes, they don't come bothering you. No, we're in the middle of decorating our house. Yes, we started decorating on Thanksgiving. The tree's up, but lights are only halfway up it. Fridays and Saturdays I'm really busy, so it's hard to do any decorating. That's like John's out there. What? You can't have a Chippendales floating the Christmas parade, man. Come on. Where are you people coming from today? Where are you from? Oh, Miami. Well, that explains it right there. Jesus. You people make LA look like they're sitting quiet. I've been to Miami. Don't try to bull BS me. Oh no, I know how Miami is. Yes, matter of fact, I've been there a few times. Yes, it's a weird city. It's weirder than LA is. It's a different mix, is what it is. That's all. It's a different kind of people. So, Christopher, it's tomorrow, right? John, parade's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So look,
Yeah, so we're doing all the setups today. We're converting everything here and bringing in all the big closed circuit TVs because we're the green room in our office here. Right behind me, about 20 feet is Hollywood Boulevard. So tomorrow, start lining up. We'll have, I think, we'll have about 10 marching bands, and I think we have like 100 different cars from various movies and TV series. Over 5,000 people participating in the parade. But that song we played at the start of the show with Gene Autry, that was actually a song that's very much affiliated with this parade. Back in 1946, Gene Autry, because he was the grand marshal a few different times for this parade. It was called the Santa Claus Lane Parade before it became the Hollywood Christmas Parade. And so he was there, and he heard some young kids saying, "Mommy, Mommy, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus." So that inspired this song. And so it's "Here Comes Santa Claus" right down Santa Claus Lane, because this was Santa Claus Lane Parade. So it was written for this parade. And he first recorded, I think, in 1947. So it's been around for a while, but that was Gene Autry, and that was inspired by this parade way back when. It's this. I think this is the 95th anniversary, or the 95th, 95 years ago it started. The 93rd anniversary. There were 2 years when the parade didn't happen. One was in World War II, and one was during COVID. But otherwise, it's been going on since I think 1923. So yeah, it's been going on a while, and
a good run.
It was originally created to help bring business to Hollywood, and then it's just kind of like morphed and evolved, and it's now we're getting back to that. We're trying to use that to drive business, bring business into Hollywood, and people so they could celebrate and stay at the hotels and go to the restaurants and whatnot. So we have quite a few different vendors participating and bringing stuff, their food and desserts and stuff for the parade. We've got just down the street, about 150 yards or so, is Hard Rock Cafe, and so they're bringing a bunch of desserts. And In-N-Out, which next time you're here, Joe, in April, I'm gonna take you. Emily and I are gonna take you to In-N-Out before she disappears.
That's right.
The biggest In-N-Out in the chain is about 2 blocks away from us, so we'll go there.
You must be 2 blocks that I haven't gone. I mean, I've been all over that. Well, no, you know what? There's one way I haven't gone. Actually, come to think about it. So I haven't gone.
Sunset, because it's on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, well, because I was thinking if you're standing in front of Author Services, looking out the front door or the side door, whatever door that is, the one on Hollywood Boulevard. If you look to the right, I don't think I've been that way. I've been the other 2 ways up and down, and the opposite way down. But I think I've been up there.
If you go down all the way down to Sunset, there's In-N-Out. So some of the judges take their students there for one point during the workshop. But anyway, we'll definitely get you there so you can get.
Yeah, I need a burger.
I've
been craving a good burger. I got to go buy a car for myself. I was going to do it for Christmas, but I ain't doing it. I'm like, the hell with it. What protests, man? I got to get. Hey, Heidi, how you doing, sweetie? I got to get past it. My problem is I've looked at 200 vehicles, 250 vehicles. Nothing seems to grab my attention, and I don't want another. Right now, I have no notes. I'm trying to keep. I'm thinking about just sending my car and just spending $6 or $7 grand on and get it all completely redone, and at least it's mine. I already bought and paid for it. It's only 4 years old. No, Christopher. It's got 200 it's 5 years old. It's got 248,000 miles on it. I drive a lot. Yes.
Yeah. The problem with that is that you're going to have once you start having to do repairs, then that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and I had talked to a friend of mine about having them pull a motor and transmission out of maybe one of the wreck cars from junkyard, something with low mileage on it, 20 or 30,000 miles, and just dropping the whole set in the car. And then I was like, Joe, stop being an ass. Just go buy a car.
Yeah.
Be done with it. So sooner or later, I'm gonna find some. Because I really don't know. I mean, I don't.
When you get tired of calling for Uber once your car breaks and you're like having to call Uber to go to.
Well, so right now for the last Well, I haven't had a car for years, so we've had I have the 2 grocery stores deliver. And since I'm old, they give me a discount on delivery, which is cool. It's only like $4 to have it delivered. And we order a lot of groceries when we order $400-500 at a time. And they bring it all. I mean, I usually give them a decent tip, but still, they do that. And then anywhere you want to go around here, Uber or Lyft will take you for less than $20. So you just hop in, go, come back. And now, because I do the food thing, I order a lot of food out now. They give me like 50% off my rides. I'm kind of like, it makes it hard. I understand now why everybody who lives in the city doesn't own a car anymore. None of my friends who live downtown own a car anymore. They either take Uber, Lyft, or they walk, or they ride a bike, but none of them own a car anymore. None of them.
But you go someplace like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, you're going to be paying $50-75 a day for parking.
Yeah, I know.
So well, it's
that's why after the first year I came with y'all, because when I usually am traveling like that and I'm going to be somewhere for as many days, I usually rent a car.
Yeah.
And I get good deals on rentals. But I was talking to the guy at the Roosevelt that I think he said it was $65 a day.
Yeah.
Or no way, he told me it was 65 or 60 something if you weren't staying at the whole hotel, and 50 if you were. I said, wait, let me get this right. You charge somebody who stays at your hotel $50? So when I was up seeing y'all first time up in Atlanta, a guy told me that at the Hilton. That's where, I'm going to check out. I'm going to go stay at a hotel who isn't charging me $400 a night and wants to charge me to use the internet in the garage. So that morning, the guy, I bumped into the guy and said, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're not going to charge you for the whole time you're here. Don't worry about it." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, I think somebody figured out you work for the press, man, so they didn't want to piss you off." I was laughing my ass off, but I mean, it's a shame because they charge good money. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Hilton's got nice rooms, and I always like to get the one that's got the sofa and the couch. The room's separate. The bedroom is separate from it. Whether it's 1 or 2 bedrooms, they're separate, and then they'll usually have a nice tub, and then sometimes 2 showers. I don't know why we have to have an extra large shower. I'm not even sure what those are for yet. When I was in DC, I'm not kidding you, that shower is bigger than my studio. And what the hell you need? I don't know what that's for. I don't even think I want to know what that's for. It must be a Diddy shower. That's what we're going to start calling it, a Diddy shower, because it was. John, there was like 10 jets in the ceiling, were all up and down the wall. I felt like it was like car wash for humans or something. It was
maybe.
And I had all kind of mood lighting in and smell and stuff in it. I was like, oh my God, where am I at? I should have known, because my bedroom, when you looked out the window, you seen the White House. So, I was in woke land at the time.
Anyway,
yes.
So we got the Christmas parade tomorrow, and officially launching that season, which we're all excited about. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about this before we brought our guest on. But it's this is our 15th year as hosting the Green Room. And it's been, while I'm doing the show here, Emily's there setting up and getting all the golf carts, make sure they're all charged, all the dressing rooms properly labeled, making sure all the different proper foods based upon the big celebrities will send, okay, this is my list of what I need for the Green Room, this type of croissant or this type of cookie or this type of water. It's not just water, it's like,
oh yeah, I'm sure everybody wants their little special stuff. I don't get no doubt about that at all. It's like that down here.
But once they've won Grammys or Emmys, then they're like, okay, I'm going to say what I want. You have to.
Yeah, you want me to be in your little parade, you got to give me what I want.
Yeah.
It's I noticed down here, if they're really big stars, they'll give them their own aide that pretty much does whatever the hell they want. Matter of fact, most of the floats where they're throwing stuff, they'll have somebody there working all the way around the guest, handing them stuff, making sure everything's ready so they don't have to do anything. Whereas everybody else out there who's on a parade has to do it themselves. They don't throw stuff. No, pretty much the Gulf South is pretty much unique for throwing stuff. Most parades are civilized, and you just sit there and watch them go by. They don't throw stuff at you. Sometimes there's some balloons floating around or something, but no, you know why we don't have balloon parades in New Orleans? Because the coon asses would shoot at them. They get on top building somewhere and just with a little 22 and start shooting holes in the damn things. They're not going to go for that down here. I don't know why. They're just not big fans of balloon parades. boat parades, flower parades, parades where they hum coconuts at your head. Yes, but not balloon parade. Look, I don't know. I've actually been to two parades in New York to see the big balloons. I've been out in Washington to see the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade, and I've been to a lot of other parades. But frankly, they're not as fun because people aren't going crazy trying to get stuff. When you're just standing there looking at the parade, you got your little drink in your hand, you're drinking your smoothie, looking, oh, how pretty, how pretty. See down here, that's not what's going on. They got a bottle of bourbon in their hand, they swigging it, and if you try to grab their boon and the beads, they're gonna knock you butt on the ground, kick you a couple of times. I'm just warning you
That's the
people.
Hollywood Christmas parade.
I'm just trying to give you all some heads up on this.
My word.
No, actually, it's people. I'm telling you, man. With the exception of whatever stupid riot is we had a few months back, LA is actually fairly peaceful as cities go. Well, they had a bad run. You had some people got crazy. What can I say? They still are a little crazy, but that'll all go away in 4 years. Yes. Well, maybe not. If JD Vance wins, maybe it won't go away. I'm not sure, but what are you talking about? Yeah, so they got the parade out there. No, I don't know. I don't think Mayor Bass goes to the parade.
No, she doesn't.
She
She's the
doesn't
first
seem-
one in several mayors that hasn't participated. We
she
had
doesn't seem very friendly.
Peter Ragosa attended, and then he was like 10, 12 years ago, and he came. He presented really nice certificates, very, very congenial. And then Eric Garcetti came several times when he was the mayor over his 8 years. And then when Karen Bass became mayor, she's like not interested for whatever her agended reasons are. But it's interesting because Antonio Villaraigosa, who's running for governor, he's actually coming just as a guest. I invited him at an event I attended last month. I said, if you'd like to come. So then he's actually going to be here in the green room. So that's good. He's been really good. He was really good as mayor, at least from my perspective, what I saw. And he's very open to all ethnics, to all religions, and which is a good thing. You need that in a very diverse city like Los Angeles.
It is. It's a very diverse city. You can't.
Yeah.
But I never understood that. I traveled a lot, and people tell me, "Oh, the city's got all these problems." Well, I'm from New Orleans, which is the freaking melting pot of the country, and I don't get it. I mean, we have everybody here.
Yeah.
Not just that, we daily have ships coming in, bringing more people here, and we do have an international airport as well. So we have people coming from everywhere. And you know what? New Orleans don't have those kind of problems. And
Yeah,
do y'all realize we get 6 million people together, drunk 6 million people together, and still don't have those kind of problems.
Yeah.
It's I'll tell you the main reason why, because most people know that the NOPDs are, let's just say, not friendly. So it makes you behave yourself, because if you get caught by one of them, you're going to jail. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're just going to go to jail. Whether you get out now or not, you're still going. It's just one of those things. So it does kind of deter crime. And I've watched the LA parade on TV a couple of times, Jack. It always seems like it's very nice, very, very laid back. People standing around, talking, taking pictures, doing movies. Where do you live? Oh no, you're in. No. I forgot. You're in San Antonio. Never mind. You're in Texas. Yeah. No, I was thinking you were Bruce, because he's up in well, he's in San Francisco anyway. Yeah, he's way the hell up. That's like 5 hours away or something. Yeah. Look, California's a big state. It's a big, long state.
Yeah.
And there's 30-something million people living there. Oh, we're not getting into that discussion, but yeah. So originally it was 41.25 million. And then it went down to 37, then it went up to 39, and currently sitting at like 38.6. Yeah, it's like a little yo-yo right now. Yeah, it's like anything. People get unhappy, they move around.
Yeah.
They do. But the parade is nice. Go sit back, chill. It's on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday, and it starts from 5 to 6. We have our pre-show where we're going to have musical acts and stuff like that, performers that will be recorded, and then then the parade itself kicks off at 6 and goes for a couple of hours. And the last float is Santa Claus. But we have a 5-story tall balloon that
they got a 5-story ho-ho. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's this guy here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a story. when our beginning with this was 17 years ago, when we released the Stories from the Golden Age, this series of books. These were all written in the 1930s and 40s by L. Ron Hubbard. And so we then, as part of the launch campaign, had a float in the parade. And we did a float for a couple of years. And then when the parade was bought by David Mackenzie and Associated Television to make it into a TV special, he said, "I've got one word for you, son: balloons." So not plastic, but balloons. And
real balloons.
Real balloons. He said, because on TV, the balloon fills up the whole screen and it works really well. On television, a lot better than just a float riding down. So I said, okay, so we had a balloon made, and we've had it every year. We keep it in a special company that handles these balloons, keeps them stored and keeps them in proper shape so that they don't, decompose, and because they hold helium, and so that's what makes them go up. And so ours is the biggest one, and it's like the size that they do at the Macy's parade. But this is our 15th year hosting is the green room as well. So we've been all these years, that's like, because we're at the head of the parade, our office, which you've been here before, Joe, multiple times, our 4th floor is where all the celebrities are. We'll have usually 200-300 celebrities on this floor, on our 4th floor. And then we have another 100 plus on our 1st floor. And this is where they load in and go on to the parade route. And we have all these old time classic cars that are on our roof. They drive down our parking structure and they come down to the 4th floor. They load in there and they drive down to the street. And that's the start then of the parade route. And it's pretty, there's a lot of moving parts. There's over 5,000 people participating and contributing and working on the parade. So it's a big deal. It's a consumer, event, public event in Los Angeles. And so for us, it was how we got started. We've had other big floats in there as well. Like when we had our big entry in 2017, I think it was, or 2016 for Battlefield Earth. We came up with a new edition then. And so we had a big float then with Battlefield Earth, and we had somebody dressed up as the main characters, and they're going down the parade route. We also work with The Way to Happiness, and that's the last book that L. Ron Hubbard wrote. It's 21 Precept Moral Code, non-religious. And so we have a big float on that. And this year, Marisol Nichols will be the celebrity on there. And she's also done a lot of stuff working with Underground Railroad, on being able to rescue kids. So she'll go out there and work with law enforcement, and because she can sound like a little girl, she'll go into these hotels with police there, and these old perverts that call and want to be able to hire these little girls, and they'll set them up and they'll get them arrested. So she does, because it's really disgusting what goes on. It's like, maybe it's not as crazy as Jeffrey Epstein, but it's still that type of stuff.
No, it's still just as disgusting. Yeah.
So she works on that kind of stuff to help, get those people put behind bars. And then we also have this character called Cree, which is interesting for Latinos. Cree is a very famous character. It's a cricket. It's like Mickey Mouse is the Latino version of Mickey Mouse, and for Latinos, even more famous than Mickey Mouse. And so at the press conference we had last Monday, we had Cree as one of the celebrity guests, and the guy that was hosting him, because Cree is a mime, was describing it. And so when he sang the Cree song, and where they say, who's the one that does the blah, and then half the media, Cree, so they all were familiar with that stuff. So that was pretty good. But anyway, so he hasn't been in it for like a decade. So that's a good thing. We'll get a lot of Latino media for that. And then we've got the LA Sheriff, Sheriff Luna, who's just a really nice guy. It's LA County Sheriff's Department, I think, is the biggest sheriff's department in the U.S. So he was here last year and had such a good time. When I invited him, he says, absolutely, I'm coming with my family. So he's coming. We also have the LA County Fire Chief, is coming as well for the first time. And we're excited about that too, because we wanted to do something at the head of the parade, thanking the sheriff's department, the fire department. The police chief was coming up until yesterday or until Wednesday, and something came up and had to back out for whatever reason. I don't, I'm not sure what happened. It's not dissimilar to what Karen Bass did a couple of years ago. The very end of Wednesday, so we couldn't do anything. We had a whole thing scheduled for her, and she said, "I'm not coming." And so anyway, that was it for her. But we're doing a whole thing to acknowledge the police, the sheriffs, and the fire department for what they did earlier this year and handling the fires, because that was quite a horrific scene happening here in LA County.
It was.
So we're doing a thing to thank them, and they'll be in our green room. So I'm looking forward to meeting Chief Maroney, who's the fire chief, and then seeing the sheriff again, Sheriff Luna. He's presenting a nice certificate to the L. Ron Hubbard Theater, which is the green room, and to the Way to Happiness, because obviously that moral code is something that we need more of to, don't kill. So it's a precept. It's like, take
Don't
care.
Eat chocolate.
Don't what?
Don't eat chocolate.
Not going to get away with that. Not around Emily.
Oh no, that's a sin. Tell she can't handle more chocolate. It's over with. It's done.
No.
It's the next bed sin. No chocolate.
That sword you gave her is coming out, man. You're like,
no chocolate. It won't bother its master none, but still, it's no, Jimmy Chocolate's bad. It's evil, especially dark chocolate. It's really evil. Why it's my favorite. Yes, you're such an idiot. No, Denise, you live in LA, and so does Karen. Y'all both live in LA, and you've never. How long you been? Yeah, I know you. You've been there your whole entire life, and you're 50 years old, and you've never seen a parade. You didn't even know they had one. Where the hell are you? What are you smoking out there? I mean, pot ain't been legal forever in Cali, so what's going on? I mean, really?
Yeah, but it's
how could you have not seen it?
No, it's pretty amazing, because we have even a special broadcast. It'll be broadcast on the CW network on Friday, the 12th of December. And then I think it's the next day, KTLA, which is the biggest TV station in Los Angeles, does a special LA broadcast, which has all the LA political people, the sheriff, the all those people there who for Los Angeles mean something.
Yeah.
They don't really mean anything to somebody watching it in some other state. So they do a special edit for that. And then that's what goes on. But so we're really excited about it, because that's a way for us to continue celebrating our books, because we're publishers, the Green Room. And there's a special little segment that will be done. We have a magician from the Masters of Illusion, and we have our parade host will be there, and it's going to be a magic act with our books in the background there. So they'll be able to see because it takes place on the 4th floor, which is the L. Ron Hubbard Library. So we're very excited about that. But all these books we've featured over the years, they're all up there. You've seen it there, Joe, and it's like there's hundreds of books, fiction books that he's written. They're all around.
Yeah, they're all over too. I mean, everywhere you look, it's setting a really nice backdrop as well. Everything in it is really well done. There's pictures all over the place. I know we have them on 2 different websites on both the UPR websites, the United Public and the UFO Paranormal. You can see them. There's even a couple of videos where I'm walking through talking to people, and then there's a piece where I'm talking with Chelsea about the new Mission Earth covers that I had seen last time I was there.
Yeah,
I think it might have been, was it last time? Might have been, I don't know. It was one of the last 2 times, but those videos are all available. You can see it's really pretty inside.
Yeah,
there's no top secret. I'm not showing y'all nothing top secret, people. If you've won Writers of the Future, you've seen this, or if you work for them or affiliated with them, you've seen what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you should see lots of pictures. You should see it. I don't think a lot of y'all realize when we're snapping pictures there where we're at, because I don't always mention in the pictures, and neither they don't either always. So you see a picture, you might think it's a hotel, you might think it's somewhere else, but a lot of those pictures, at least 2 days worth of them, were taken at Author Services. Yeah, because we're over there for a couple of things. Like last year, uh, they did the book signing there and they did a barbecue there. So that was at least 2 days we were there. Plus, they had the old radio show with there. So all of those are photo ops, and then they do the tour. So there's at least 4 times that I'm going to be over there walking around as press. And you'll see also, and matter of fact, there's one of the something to do with the illustrators last year. That's on there.
Oh yeah, the big reveal.
Oh, it was a reveal. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, so that's on there as well. So all of those are inside that building. You just because we don't talk about it, you don't actually know where we're at. Because some people say, "Oh, y'all are at the Lowe's," and they are at the Lowe's a lot, but then they're also there as well. And sometimes they're at Roosevelt and Author Services. Well, Lowe's and Roosevelt really are technically across the street. Just one's one block off and one's on Hollywood Boulevard, but they're both about the same distance from Author Services. It's, I don't know, 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk. It just depends how fast you walk. I know John and I walked there cutting through the hotel. It couldn't have took us 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It's and that's a nice walk. And LA is always a little cooler than the rest of the country. I mean, temperature wise. Not people wise. I mean, temperature wise. Calm down there, Reese. Just calm down. No, I mean, temperature wise. So it's nice when you're walking. What do you mean here in April? Where I live in April? No. You better be in shorts and short sleeves if you're walking anywhere, because you're going to get like 80 feet and you're going to need to go take a shower. And by May or by June or July, no one walks around here in June or July or August. What do you think? They're stupid? They have a heart attack and die. The deep South is not conducive for walking in the daytime in the summertime. Now at night it's fine. It only gets about 80 degrees, but no. Like right now it's beautiful outside. 68 degrees outside. You go walk around, enjoy the beautiful sunshine. It's nice. No, Mark, there's no charge.
No.
Is it?
No,
Okay.
You can buy a ticket for the grandstands. Otherwise, along the street.
Yeah, Helen says, is it just on Hollywood Boulevard? Does it go anywhere else?
Yeah, so it starts at Orange, if you're familiar with Los Angeles.
Yeah, she lives there.
And so it starts at Orange, and then you go across, you go east on Hollywood Boulevard, you go past the Chinese Theater and go that way to Vine, and then at Vine, you go up to Sunset, and then on Sunset, you come west again, up Sunset, and it stops there at Orange again, which is right where In-N-Out is. So it's about a 3.2-mile route.
In-N-Out must love y'all, man. They probably get wiped out. I know any business on a parade route down here makes buku money, man. Jeez. A couple of the restaurants makes more money in those 2 weeks than they do in the entire rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like places like Popeyes, you'll see lines out the door, around the building, and down the street. And they got smart because of the bathroom thing. So, yeah, you can use that bathroom, but you got to buy something.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Denise and Reese, y'all all know each other. Y'all should just get together. So only one of the 6 of y'all, all y'all live in LA, and only one of y'all have been to the parade. Shame on you.
Yeah, well,
shame on you.
Just so you know that our Grand Marshal this year is Luke Wilson. He was in a movie like Legally Blonde and Old School, The Royal Tenenbaums, and then also Horizon with Kevin Costner's Western movie. And then we have Anthony Anderson, who is the parade humanitarian of the year. He was just last in that movie G20. That was a good movie there.
Yeah.
But, he was in that one there. So we've got them, and this is the kickoff event for the U.S. Marine Corps Toys for Tots. And so that's pretty cool. So we always like to celebrate the armed services, and so we're really keen on being able to recognize them, acknowledge them. So up in our 4th floor tomorrow, you see all these military people in their uniform, as well as all the celebrities and political people. It's just we try to it's something for everybody, and so we've got some good friends that are LA City Council members. Heather Hutt and Monica Rodriguez. And then there's also other celebrities that, you may or may not recognize, but it's a fun thing. People can come there and just celebrate for the people, because because it's not a paid gig, you're going to have these people that these celebrities that people see on the television and movies, but they never see them in real life. So now they're going to be able to see them and cheer and wave for them. Plus, we're going to have probably a dozen marching bands and I think 10, 15 floats, and then another 10 balloons. But overall, like I said, there's over 5,000 people, just dance troops, just all kinds of stuff to celebrate. And this is the biggest holiday special for the CW network every year. So in December, the show that happens, because it's the 2-hour special starting at 8 o'clock on Friday night, the 12th of December, 8 o'clock Eastern, Pacific, Mountain. It's just that standard time there. You'll be able to see it. And then it airs on the Armed Forces Network and several other places throughout, but that's where it launches, is on the CW.
There's a, what's that, Jimmy? No, there's a lot of Christmas parades. You believe it or not, there's a few Thanksgiving parades and more Christmas parades than you think around the United States. LA usually is in the top 10 somewhere. I've seen them before.
It's the top 10 for the world, but it's the biggest. Like I said, it's the top Christmas program special for the CW network.
Yeah, it's no, it's a great parade. I mean, when you look it up, it always sounds good, and people talk really good about it. Well, there's stiff competition these days too, because it's not like the old days. The country's a little different than it used to be. So you can find. Oh, give me a second. So there's actually another one in California. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. The name of the damn place. It was like Calistoga, something Callista. How it's Calistoga, whatever the hell that was. I remember reading about it last year when I was reading about the LA parade. Yeah, people get in their parades, and if you're in LA, you should go enjoy it and have a good afternoon and enjoy the whole thing.
And take public transportation, because the streets are
or going to be ridiculous.
But you can definitely. There's the train comes right into Hollywood and Highland there, so you can get off right there on the parade route.
Yeah. What is this you just sent me, Christopher? Oh, list of parades. Oh, what's that? Yacht Club Parade. Yeah, Christmas boat parades are cool too. That's in Maryland. I think I've seen that one. And I've been to the one in Gaithersburg, Tennessee, but that's just that's a bunch of good old boys in Jeeps and Christmas lights with these snow machines behind their vehicles blowing snow as they're driving through town. Yeah, they have floats too. It's just all different. There's one in Texas. You can go there. So I think it's in Grapevine, Texas, I believe. You can go check it out. LA's. Well, I would say if you're like in anywhere in driving distance of LA, which, I mean, what is Vegas? Like 4 hours, 5 hours from LA? So
4.5.
Yeah, so that's an easy drive. There's a bunch of other towns around there, San Fran. I mean, there's a lot of people within 5 hours of LA, which is really not a bad drive to go spend a day somewhere. That's what I'm saying. You should go down.
Yeah, on Sunday's the parade. Then Monday we clean up. And then Tuesday, Emily and Sarah load up a van and they drive to Las Vegas for a big the Western Rodeo, the big Western show there, which should be for 10 days.
Man.
I go to the last few days, but we'll sell 1,000 books at that show. L. Ron Hubbard's Westerns just do really, really well. His Western.
Y'all better watch out for them yippee-ki-yay bad girls, man. I'm telling y'all better watch out. Denise, I've been to the one in Helen, and you're talking about in Georgia, right? Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. It's a whole Christmas town. It's not just a Christmas parade. The whole town is Christmas. Yeah, it's really weird. It's cool. I've been to the Tampa Boat Parade. Look out. You see, I'm looking at the LA parade right now since 1928. It's it's on that list you just sent me. You didn't see it on there? What a goofus. I'm sorry, you're a goofus. Oh no, look at it right now. Oh, this one's at nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it went into the darky hour.
These huge sunlights that are on either side of the bleachers there, and the whole street from Orange up to Highland is red carpet. So I don't think it doesn't qualify for a Guinness World Record, but it's the biggest, I think, in the United States. The whole street's red carpeted, and that's where
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's very cool. So it looks really good for a Christmas. The sparkling and stuff like that. Sometimes it's really good just after it rains because everything's all sparkly. But we're fine on not having it rain and risk that. Yeah, so it's
Hopefully it won't rain. I mean, y'all
yeah,
got a
right
good
now
bit of rain
it's
last week.
good. There you
Yeah,
go.
y'all got. There you go, guys. Right there. You
That's the
check
last
it out.
row. That's Santa Claus there, and right there in the back, just above, between the Chinese sign, you see the vertical in the circle there. That's our building there. You see the top of our building, Author Services. That's why it's the perfect place to start the parade.
Yeah, it's actually a great place. Yeah, Jack. No, what was the whole list you sent me? It was top 10 USA Today parades. Yeah, those are, yeah. And then you can vote for them. There's actually a voting thing. See, here's this one's in Leesburg, Florida. Yeah, so you got that one, and then I mean they just keep going. In Indiana, what? They actually have parades in Indiana? Get out of here! I don't believe that. Philadelphia, look at this colorful mess of whatever this is. That don't look like Christmas to me, man. What is that?
The Mummers Parade,
yeah. I was wondering, man. That's kind of, I had to go look into like there. Of course, Macy's. We just had this just recent, New York. So you can go over there and vote. Look, there's lots of parades on here. Whatever the hell this is. Oh, this is a lights festival. Yeah, I recognize this town.
New Orleans.
Yeah, the Manning Family Children's Holiday Parade. I didn't even know. Shame on Joe. I didn't even know there was such a thing. People, what started in 2022. That's why. And Manning is, an old football player. Yeah, look at that. So, I mean, go out, check it out. Go check out your favorite. This is the one we're talking about right here. Let's go back to where we were. There she blows right there.
Yeah, if you're on the URL, type up the Hollywood Christmas Parade.
There you go. You'll enjoy it. What's it say? 1 day, 19 hours, and 4 minutes. Y'all best get on the ball, people, if you don't live there. If you live there, it's not a big deal. Just see, look at Rudolph. He's high, man. He's been smelling that weed while he's going down the street. All legs all stretched out and stuff. Oh, what are we going to do with this guy? I'm just kidding, people. Go check it out. You're really going to have a lot of fun. You can say hi. You might see John moseying around. You never know. And tell him hi if you bump into him somewhere. But go and enjoy the parade. Have a good day.
I just sent you the link for the parade.
But did you let me? Where was I? Got
private chat.
Yeah, I just got to get out from where I'm at. I'm in umpteen million places here. Okay, why is this not right? Okay, what happened here? Okay, let me go back over here for a minute. No, I was looking for something else, but where is the chat room? There we are. Welcome to the chat. Let's grab this out of here right quick, and we can drop this one and close that one. And Micah, oh, you're talking about Micah Danks. Yeah, no, that's nothing to do with what we're talking about today, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. No, he's into ufology, my friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got the wrong just got the wrong show. I don't know what else to tell you, man. You can bring it up in the next one if you want to, when Jay and Sean and I are on it on chat. If you want to ask, then you can, but it really has nothing to do with this show. It would take us into a whole topic that we're not really talking about today. And there y'all go. Let me go back and close this, get that out the way. Let's get that out the way.
So you just scroll down, you'll see the different.
As soon as I find out where I am, there we are.
Yeah.
Toys for tots, man. Y'all give some toys up for them tops, people. Oh, yeah. See, this one's got a more accurate clock. See, it's a good thing we checked. This one's got 1 day, 3 hours, and 1 minute. Oh, that's almost not quite 24 hours. Remember, people, 26 days to Christmas, really 25 and a half days to Christmas. Get ready to get out
down. You'll see them more.
You get out and
this is their sizzle reel. If you want to, it's pretty cool.
Yes, we'll hit it.
So let's get this party started. Snow, we want snow. From New York to California, here we go. More snow, we want snow. For the London Bridge and Pigs in Tokyo. She's waiting for some men to live to go. Frosty the Snowman. Santa too. Walking in a winter wonderland. Lord, it's like a hard candy Christmas. Every road has its song. Come on, it's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Where's Trump?
It's sad to feel alone on Christmas Day.
Looks like we got a wrecking crowd here tonight. Yeah!
Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas to everybody, but a gorgeous evening.
There y'all go, people. Now y'all know what y'all missing if you don't go.
Yeah.
So get your butts out there and get to going. What do you mean, Frankie? No, go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you can scroll down. You'll see now those are the hosts there.
Yeah, I know these people. It's no, the weather should be pretty decent. Unless it rains, y'all should be pretty good. Dun, 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 dun. They got all kind of stuff going on around here. Let's go see what we got going here. Y'all know how I like to click stuff. Man, I thought that was Jasmine Crockett for a minute. I said, I ain't going for sure now. What's that, Jeffrey? No, no, this picture right here, it kind of looks like Jazz, not these two. For some reason, in this one, this one just kind of looked a little bit like her. Mm-hmm. Got some cool people gonna be there. Y'all get out there and go cheerlead. Chris said they should be throwing $100 bills. They can afford it. Maybe you talk it into them, Chris. I don't think that's gonna work real well because people out on the street try to kill each other. Damn, how many pages of people y'all got coming to this thing? These are Jeffrey. These are celebs. What are you going blind? That was the sheriff. John and I were just talking about him a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, councilwoman. How you doing, councilwoman? And what? You want to get on a float so you can be famous? What the hell kind of stupid ideas? Hey, it's a guy, the dog guy. I watched him get the crap bit out of him yesterday. This poor guy was messing with a chihuahua. He bit the bejesus out of the guy.
AC Green was LA Lakers.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that when you said it.
Estelle, she's
done
a lot of music.
Yeah, I haven't heard about her lately for some reason. Let's see. That's probably the guest joining us. Miss European Universe 2023. Is that what? Yeah, that's what that says. But she's cute. Let's take a look. Yes. See, I'm sorry, European. Your women are just not as hot as American girls are. What can I say? Don't get offended when we speak the truth.
Well, if you say something offensive, they're going to get offended.
Well, no, it's the truth is not offensive. American women are just prettier. They're healthier too, for that matter. I don't know.
I don't know. Scandinavia's got quite a bit going for them.
Yeah, but they're kind of tall. I don't need a woman looking down at my bald head all day long. You know? What's that? No, I'm serious, man. It's no. Anyway, actually, I've seen her somewhere. Now that I'm looking at her face, she looks familiar, other than being famous. This looks like Terra Incognito, is what that looks like. I don't know who these are.
He's going to be. He's the. I think he's the one that's going to be the guest of honor for the toddler for the U.S. Toys Marine Corps. So they've been picking him. So
okay. No, Jane, you can go right on the site. Everybody, you see me scrolling through here. You can go look for yourself. It's on the site.
The Hollywood Christmas Parade. So you got to have that in front of it to be able to.
Yes,
do it.
I'll post it up to y'all on the regular link in a
Yeah.
minute. I'm just scrolling through one more time if I go back to the regular page.
Did you already do
It's,
page 3?
Yeah, I just finished actually. I was just bringing
good.
myself back to the homeland up here. If it'll take me back to where I want to be. Okay, so where was I? Was down here. Oh, look, now we're down 2 hours and 55 minutes, people. Time's quick and fast. Eric Estrada, he's so cute. I want to just grab him by his cheeks and go.
Yeah, you better remember him from Chips.
No,
He was
this guy
Johnny.
here is nuts. I mean, in a good way, not in a bad way, but he's nuts. The Marines. Yeah, well, y'all got a Marine base right there in San Diego.
Yeah. And then we got the various balloons there and floats.
Yep, let's grab these and go take a look. Well, see, I just thought somebody was doing some levitation here. Levitating their gingerbread house down the street. What's that, Dean? Shut up, man. I'm not even gonna say. I'm just gonna move on. It's these are cool. Oh, Ninja. It's Leonardo, no less. Oh, Ninja Mutant Turtle. Dean, I had another Mutant Turtles. My son was a Mutant Turtle freak when he was a kid. Yes. Every Mutant Ninja Turtle toy you could think of was in my house. Can't tell you how many times I was stabbed by a sword or hit in the head with some plastic nunchucks. I'm serious. He was a demon. Yeah, he was a demon. So where the hell are they at right here?
I don't. That's not here in LA. That's just the gingerbread house that's going to be in the parade this year. We've not had it before.
Oh, okay. I was kind of like, that street don't look familiar, man.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know every street out there, but still, I was just kind of confused. Yeah, you go. You can join the parade, ticket and parking. Look at it. There's archives. Let's go all the way back to 2018. See what's happening. Okay, Link. That's not taking me to 2018. I think you messing with me, Link. Oh, there goes my alarm clock.
So we have to send an invitation to our next guest.
They already got it. They're in the chat with them, pretty sure.
Okay, good.
Let me go back to the room and I can see us. Hey, Megan, how you doing down there? You hiding out? We can't hear you, but hold on. Let me drag you up in here with us and get this out of the way. Now we should be able to hear you.
Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, now we hear you. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Yes. So when you're in the green room, you can hear us, but we can't hear you.
God.
I can hear her now. I hear her just fine.
Yes. But yeah.
But we have that special rapport. We don't need any wires for us to connect up.
That's right. Everything's wireless now.
So her podcast is the one that just aired an hour ago.
Oh, just did it?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet. I'm really excited to hear it.
Yeah. So do you have the numbers for it all yet, Joe?
I did somewhere. While y'all are chatting, I will see what I did with them, but I had them earlier because I pulled them.
Yeah.
Let me dig them up. Before people say not still use paper for old school stuff, people, I'm sorry. Even though I got massive high dollar computers all over the place, I still use the paper for the important stuff.
I still use paper planners. It's just easier when you write it down with a pen.
Yes. Well, to me, it feels better. And I actually remember it better if I actually write it down. Typing it in for some reason doesn't stick in my memory as much as if I write it down. Let's see. Where is Writers of the Future? Okay. What the hell is that? Oh, that's where it's at right there.
So you're in Florida, right, Megan, right now?
Yes, I am. I am in Orlando. So
Orlando. I haven't been there in a little while. I got family around down there in Orlando and Tampa and a few other places.
yep, we are the tourist city.
Yes. My granddaughter's living down there. She loves it down there.
I love it too. There's like 2 roads that are pretty awful, but other than that, it's great.
Yeah, that's why. And when you live in the deep south, just expect roads not to be the best. when you build stuff on top of swamps, they tend to not last as
Yeah.
long. That's the only way I can say it nicely. Actually, John, you were 3408634. Boy, is that some sloppy?
So Megan, so your podcast was listened to by 3,408,634 people.
Wow, that's a lot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. That's really cool.
Well, thank you so much for writing a great book. What can I say?
I think John's sitting with somewhere between 145 and 165 countries. It's going to vary from days, but because some of those countries only have a handful of people listening, so sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. But all the major countries, everybody in this network's actually in all the major countries, so all the important ones. It's strange.
You're even being listened to in North Korea.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
I'm
still trying to figure out who to. I know what shows they're listening to, but I don't know who the audience is, because it started out with one person. It's up to 21 or 22 now. Internet's not allowed in North Korea. They don't have cell phones like we do. So I'm kind of thinking, so it's either got to be some type of little rogue group somewhere that's hidden and got some kind of internet connection, or it's somebody up in the government somewhere that wants to listen to the people on this network for some reason or another. But we're in Venezuela too. I mean, we got listeners in Venezuela. We have actually over 50,000 listeners in Venezuela. And
wow.
So I mean, it makes sense to me in some of the countries we'd have better. Like in China, we have good audiences, because a lot of stuff that gets talked about in this network, you're not going to be able to get in countries like those. And since we were part of the Chinese network when Hong Kong was given back to China, they let us stay. They let us come to mainland, is what they did. They financed us to come to mainland China. And because this way, their own stations can't always talk about what we can. And if I'm saying it, then, I live in America. What are they going to do? All I can do is complain or throw us out. They don't want to throw us out because of the entertainment value. So we can get away with it. But Chinese can't. There's a lot of stuff that they're not allowed to talk about on their radios that we are. The only thing they ever told me is, please don't complain. When we went back, it wasn't Xi Jinping. I forgot who the leader was at the time. But that's the only thing they've ever asked us to. So you can even talk about China if you like. Just please don't talk about our fearless leader. I'm like that. I said, I won't. I can't guarantee nobody else won't, but I won't.
Yeah.
That's all. But it's a lot of fun, and a lot of people get to listen to us. And right now in Europe, we have a big audience in Europe, and it's only 10 p.m. So you've got a lot of people right now, Saturday night, sitting home listening to you, sipping on a little brandy or something, watching a little fireplace crackling, and going, "What the hell are these people talking about?"
Yes.
I met Megan. To be part of people's evening.
Yes.
Nice.
So I met Megan at Dragon Con. You didn't make it this year, unfortunately.
Yes,
but we were on a panel together about editors, and I had no idea why I was a guest on it until we started talking. And I said, I guess with Rise of the Future did have something to do with it. Then Megan had a lot of stuff to bring to the table, because she was traditional published, now she's indie published, and she's gone through the whole thing of working with editors. And so her story is amazing, because she was in an acting troupe. She was traveling all over the United States as an actor.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I spent 2 years living on tour buses. So
that's real fun there. You had to kill somebody. I would have.
Well,
Could have been somebody hanging out the window for sure.
I like sleeping in tight spaces, so I would just curl up under my seat on the bus and sleep. So I was okay, because all I needed was a warm sleeping bag and I could survive. Some people did not fare so well on tour.
Yes, it can be tough. I mean, tours are a pain, because I got lectured, but I'm spoiled, so I can't say that. They fly me out and give me my room and don't bother me until it's time for me to do my lecture. Stuff like that. It's but no, I've that reminds me, when I was in the military, I always traveling with a big group of people, not getting as much sleep as we should. getting on each other's nerves because only people we've seen is each other for a year. You get a little testy sometimes, but hey, you become good friends with a lot of those people. I'm still friends with a lot of them even 30 years later.
Yeah, it's a bonding experience. I feel like maybe the actors caused more inventive problems,
Oh yeah.
but it
You're
was
very polite.
basically like that. They being with a bunch of actors is a great time until you figure out someone might not be getting on the bus with you in the morning because they've been detained. And then it's like, oh no, we're not gonna have a pit member tonight. So hope they can play the show without that one.
Yeah.
Oops.
What was your favorite role and performance?
Ooh, my favorite wouldn't have been on tour. I really loved for like plays, just plays in general, which I didn't get to do as many of during my career just because it's sadly just a lot easier to make money on stage in musical theater. It's just an easier career. So that's what I did most of the time. But for plays, it would have been Steppin' Out, which is actually a play that takes place in a tap studio, which fits the music theater baby vibe. But for musicals, I actually got to be in a production of Pippin about a year ago, where we actually had our Pippin and our narrator, so our two leads, were both deaf. So we had to learn sign language for the show. So that was such a cool experience that I really enjoyed playing the grandmother in Pippin.
Oh, that's cool. So then we know that you've moved over now to writing, or can you move your screen, your camera, so that, there we go.
Is that better? There we go.
Yeah. So we don't have Kilroy with just above the.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's way better. So now you write, which we talked about in the podcast, your fantasy, and because we talked about in the podcast interview with, she writes YA fantasy, but then also what I was really impressed with was how she deals with profanity by making up profanity, so it's not profanity, and the whole thing about YA, where when you deal with sensitive issues like sex and violence, how you make it off the page. So that's one thing that was really cool with yours when in the series that Lisa read the first book on.
I love language. I love how spoken language is expressive, not just because words mean things, but because how words feel. Some words are just visceral. That's what makes curse words satisfying. Often it's not the original intent. It's that it feels really satisfying to use it as an emphasis. So if that's what you need, that sort of underline going in places, it needs to be a satisfying sound, but because the fantasy world you're creating doesn't have the same point of references that created our curse words, we don't need to use those. We can make up our own that have that same satisfaction. And so that's what I worked really hard to do in Ilbrea, is like pound is a slur for someone who's like a sellout merchant, gilded person. Like they're disgusting. They are traitors to the people. So it feels like, looking down your nose, that nasally disapproval. And so I liked that feel as an actor. That felt satisfying to me. So that's what I wanted to put in the book.
You had some other ones too, which are very obviously substitutes for.
Yes, chiving is a very yep, that one is a 1-to-1 ratio right there. Yeah. So that one is in there as well. But I love putting in new words. It's the same with creating a spell language, where the root that you're pulling from to create a spell word, it's just as important. If you're pulling from a root word or not, it's just as important that the spell word feels like a right spell as it is like, oh, these syllables mean this and that. And it has to feel like a spell, or it's just letters.
Otherwise, it's just abracadabra.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just nonsense then.
Yeah.
Well, most good science fiction today makes their own curse words up. I mean, if you look at Expanse or matter of fact, most of them now have all kind of even Battlestar Galactica did. They did it because you need the emphasis of the word. But when you're doing regular television, of course, you can't use the F word or the B word or the C word or actually there's several words you can't use on public television. But I mean, if it's on the internet, you can use whatever you want. But if you're planning on broadcasting over the airwaves, no, not so much. Because if you ever listen to these shows, you'll notice we have different variants of these shows. Like this show is a PG-13 rated show, so it'll go across the entire network. But the show I host on late night Fridays and the show I host after this actually has to be cleaned up before it can go on the airways because there are lots of, let's just say, bad words in it. And sometimes there may be one or two bad words that's repeated 8, 9, 10 times in a row. So those actually have to be cleaned out before it can go over public airways. But as a podcast, it does not matter. On television, on the internet, it does not matter. So I can say whatever I want and not have to clean it up. But if I'm going to put it up, because we own 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in Pass Christian, Mississippi. So in order for it to go over those, it has to be very proper, very trimmed, and
Lots of beeping
polite.
going on.
Yes. Plus, no, we just take out the segment usually, so you won't even hear any beeps. We'll just take it out because really, truly, if you're gonna hear me say beep 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 for 10 times, it's just you're just not gonna listen. You're gonna be like, click, let's move on. So
Yeah.
and of course, if you do want to hear the full version, you can always go online and find it. You're just not gonna get it over the airways. I actually had when we won. Well, this year makes our 4th time in 6 years winning best local broadcaster, and it's for 4 reasons like that, because we can do a hardcore show that you can listen to over the radio waves and think, okay, now how much more intense does this show get when I move it on to the podcast version? And it's a big difference. It really is. And it's not just even on curse words. Sometimes, like when we do specials on sensitive subjects, we'll kind of change the words somewhat of the subject, just in case it happens to get aired in a time where there might be children listening.
Yeah.
So that's all stuff we got to be careful about. But like on anything online, it clearly says everything on our network is 21 and over. So we put it out there, don't let your children listen. It's not even about cursing. It's just some of the topic matter is just not good for children. Even if it's ghosts or aliens, people, sometimes that stuff scares the bejesus out of kids. Some of this stuff you don't want your child to hear until they're at least 21. Trust me on that.
Yeah, I have to, I have different levels of series. So some of my series, like How I Magically Messed Up My Life in 4 Freakin Days, like that, like 12, 13-year-olds are fine with that. But then I have some that are like, those are adult books. And so I have to decide when I'm starting a series, is this one that I want to be a contender for library or not? So with things like Ember and Stone and creating the curse words, part of that, besides just liking making them up and, them not belonging in a fantasy world, was I'd like that one to be library eligible.
Yeah.
But the project that I've been working on most right now is laden with curse words because it's set with modern kids going through a bunch of stuff. So that one will never get to go in a library.
What's that, Denise? Well, I mean, it's not that kids aren't familiar with curse words. It's just not proper to be using certain words to kids under certain ages. They don't really need to be thinking about them things. They don't even need to think about where some of them words are coming from. It's just, that's why when you make up the word, even though the child probably knows what the word's supposed to be, they still just accept it for what it is and enjoy it. It's not just children, adults are the same way. There's not a real curse word in Expanse. They use all made up words for the most part. And Expanse was a very successful science fiction TV series and book series. So, and they're not the only ones. Farscape did it. Babylon 5 did it. Galactica did it. It's very acceptable inside of science fiction today, or fantasy for that matter. And I personally like it better. Besides, some of the words that come over curse words are much better than the curse word. It just sounds
It's
better.
fun. Coming up with
It
curse words is really fun.
It is, and it does sound like when you listen, and 'cause I mean, when you aim a sentence or a paragraph at somebody, whatever words you use, you generally what the person is talking about. But well,
See, what's good with what Megan's done, and we've talked about this, is if you write something that's going to be appealed to someone who's young adult or an adult, then depending upon what their awareness is, they can then read into whatever they want to. So like you were calling it the Indiana Jones version. You want to explain that?
Sure. So that's something that I do with sexual content too. So I personally am of the opinion that sexual content should be treated the same way as violence content, where there is this very big stigma that for some reason sex is worse than violence. When I don't know very many people who want a life without sex, but I know a lot of people who want a life without violence. But if something has sex in it, it's all of a sudden like, bad. And that is something that I work on with my upper YA books, making sure that even in and of Ilbrea, it is closed doors in Ember and Stone, but it does include sexuality because there is no reason sexuality can't be included in fantasy and have it stay a fantasy. So that's like part one for me, is that I don't think that sexuality should be treated as worse than violence. Within that caveat, there's also age appropriateness and giving parents the ability to make sure that their kids don't get some kind of education from a book that they should be getting from a parent. So that is something that I look at when I'm aging my books is, can we go into this, or do we need to have it be the Indiana Jones effect, which is, okay, they are making out. We see the shoulders of her gown come off. We can see them on top of each other. It fades to black. Now, if you're an adult, you know the rest of those clothes came off. You know what happened. If you're a little kid, as far as you're concerned, they kept on snuggling and kissing. So that keeps it in the realm of we're okay for everybody. And that, to me, when it's like, okay, we need to keep it appropriate for the youngers, is a way to be like, hey, sexuality is a part of life and it's not evil, but also I am not your how-to guide. That is not my place in life. It fades to black. You do what you can with your knowledge base. Come back to me when you're older and we'll get into it more. And then I do have my series that are for adults where we do get into it more. And those are the ones that I steer my younger readers away from. But I do always treat sexuality and romance as though it is at the same age appropriate level as visceral violence. So if I would not put entrails in a book, I'm not going to put visual sex in a book. If I put someone getting punched in the face really hard in a book, I'm going to make them make out in a book because that's like age appropriate level. They can do both. Sex cannot be hidden. If you can punch someone in the face, you can kiss them on the face. There's no reason to. No, kissing is better than punching. Please,
yes,
kissing is much better.
Much better. Well, no, Denise, I agree. Kids are faster today than they were growing up, but than when I was growing up, but not that much faster. And in some ways,
at the Miami Book Fair, do you know the A Court of Thorns and Roses series and Game Throne of Glass?
Mm-hmm.
They are huge romantasy hits. Sorry, this is a great story. If you don't know the books, part of it won't make sense. I had a group of 11 and 12-year-olds come to my tent at the Miami Book Fair. I knew they were 11 and 12, and I was like, cool. These are the books that are good for your age. Let's stick over here, guys. Like these, like Tethering, Girl of Glass, great, love it. And one of them looks me dead in the eye and says, I can read whatever I want. My mother lets me read Sarah Moss. not like, dude, you parent how you parent, but I wasn't sure, like, is this kid playing me? I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what series? And she's like, Throne of Glass. Still couldn't tell if she was playing me. And so I said, oh, the 13. And she goes, oh, right. So yeah, she knows the series. And I was like, cool, kid. There's nothing I have here that you have not already read. But it was just having that conversation with a 12-year-old of like, I can't tell if you've really read all of Sarah Moss or if you just know cool titles. Like, I didn't know. But yeah, she knew the 13. She had read the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a shame that, but kids today are a lot faster in a lot of ways. Not in all ways, but in a lot of ways they are, because a lot of them still live at home until their 30s now. So there's a little difference. But as far as the understanding the sex, most kids today, thanks to television and internet, pretty have a good idea. By 12 years old, they pretty much have an idea. By the time they're 15 or 16, shit, you might as well kick them out, make them adults. It's Oh no, Jim, when I was a kid, at 15, most of the guys I knew at 15, I can't even say what they knew because it was, and the girls were smarter, but even they were still new. There was no material back then. There was nothing to read. You couldn't even find anything hardly at a library to read. It's God, if it wouldn't have been for sex ed, we'd all been in trouble. That's all I'm telling y'all. It's today's a different world. I mean, it's different. You know, even in the stupid. Even in some of Disney's movies, it makes you scratch your head sometimes and go, what did I just see? Is this really Disney or is this something else? Oh, there's a lot of stuff that upset people in Disney these days. So,
Yeah.
well, Disney really doesn't produce anything I watch anymore. So it's not a big deal for me. But unfortunately, especially like poor Snow White, I mean, I had to go watch it to find out what everybody was talking about there. Oh, she's horrible. He's horrible. The woman's insane. I'm like, what are y'all talking? And I do news, people. And I still didn't know what they were talking about. I had to go find out. And then I listened to the little girl talk a few times. I was like, wow, okay. And then I watched the movie and I was like, and what version of Snow White is this? I wasn't even sure what was going on half the movie. So I was like, oh, okay. Now I see why everybody was upset. But I'll never understand why you take a good class and get effed up. That's makes no sense to me.
Yeah, change it a little more and make it a fanfic ode. Like,
yeah,
if you're not going to make it true to the original, don't call it the same thing, man. People are going to want it to be the same thing if you call it the same thing.
Yes,
dress it up a little more, twist it around a little bit more. Like, at least do that.
Well, I think
what was done, like when they created like Wakanda, that was a good solution, a good handling to not having a black superhero, not having a Latino superhero. They created a superhero. So like that's a solution. You don't have to like, okay, this is a remake of something already exists and people already know that this person is this, because that's the storyline. That's their creation story. But so now with Wakanda, I love it. I mean, that was perfect. And then with who's the one that's the Latino one? That's another superhero.
She's apprenticed to the archer, right?
Well, there's another one that end up with something came into the house and landed, and he jumped into him, and he went into his body, something like that, and then he became this superhero Latino, and they were in the barrios, and then he just kind of like became this super dude. And they've only done the one movie so far, but it was great. I forget which one it is, but that to me is a good handling, not taking something and now let's just rewrite it to make it something that it's not.
Because you're never going to make anybody happy. It's like poor Captain America. I like the new Captain America, but he's not Captain America.
No.
And I've seen the guy. Unfortunately, I've seen him butt naked because he was on Altered Carbon, which is one of those kind of sci-fi series that unfortunately half the movie sex. Yes, if you're not under like 30, you shouldn't be watching Altered Carbon. One, most of the themes are above you if you're not at least 30, and frankly,
I'm over 30 and I'm still not.
The gratuitous sex and drugs is a bit on the ridiculous, but the sci-fi is really good. Whoever wrote it really had a good idea on sci-fi, but as far as the rest of it, well,
yeah,
but anyway, seeing him, and he's a good, and I actually didn't realize the guy could act because I had only seen him in 2 other movies, and he really and when he was in playing the what was his name in Captain America, he was playing the guy with the wings. I can't think of his name now, but he really didn't show any kind of acting abilities. But in Altered Carbon, then I seen him in another movie. He actually showed that he could act, but he's playing a lesser version of Captain America because he doesn't have Captain America's powers.
No, he should just have been made his own superhero.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They,
Give
you know,
the
they
guy
could,
his own special suit and his own powers.
that's what I'm saying. They could have had Tony make him a suit, or he could have been exposed to some radiation. He could have went and hung out. No.
Scarlet Witch could have zapped him with some accidental thing. Like, there are choices. You could make him his own superhero.
And then you can't play him backwards because of his race, because in the 40s they wouldn't have been using him for those kind of experiments. So it kind of makes it a little bit off on how exactly you're going to deal with him. I like the guy. I would just, and I hope he gets his own superhero job one day. He'd probably be a good one. But where he is right now, it's going to be hard for him to really make anything out of this role. It's especially not
originally the Falcon. I'm just looking up right now. So
that's him. Yeah,
originally was the Falcon, becomes Captain America in the comics and film. So
like I said, and in some other movies he's good, and in this movie not so much. All the male actors in Altered Carbon were all famous actors, and they're all good actors. And unfortunately for them, all of them had to be naked most of the movie. But it's Johnny, if seeing a guy naked offends you, don't ever turn this movie on. Just don't even waste your time.
It always just makes me feel sorry for the actors because you know how little they ate during filming days.
Yeah. Like, and a lot of times those sets
is how hungry they were.
That's it. Because somebody asked the guy who played Captain America, he said, "Were those sets cold?" He said, "I'm not going to answer that." Because he said it himself. He spent a third of his time just with like a towel around him, walking around, waiting for the next scene because they wouldn't let him get dressed because it was a waste of time.
Just dehydrating himself,
just trying to look
at his chicken breasts. Like, the more naked you are, the more time you're miserable.
Yeah, and oh no, everybody in the movie's in good shape, Chris, if that's what you asked. And that's not just women. Like the girl cop kills the sister. 20 different ones of her. She's got 20 clones. Every clone's naked. Yes, and she kills each one with a different weapon. It was I don't even know what to tell you. I'll think about that. But the premise of the movie is, or the series is that somebody invented this thing that sits in the back of your neck and records your consciousness. That way, when you die, they can slip it out, slip it into a new body, and you're alive. And it was invented originally to help find people who murdered people. They would take it out and let the person give testimony in their own words on who killed them. And then it just became a thing because the rich people started using it for a way to live longer. And then, ordinary everyday people started being able to do it. So it was a very different kind of series. I'm not sure why they needed all the sex. The violence I understood because of the type of movie it was. The sex was a little much. Oh, Glenn, I don't mind seeing anybody naked, but I mean, come on, man. Sometimes I got a rule. Me and an old lady got a rule. Usually, if in the first 10 minutes of anything we watch and we see a bunch of TNA, we usually turn it off and go watch something else. In this case, I would have missed a good series in Altered Carbon. I would have also missed Expanse because the first 30 minutes of Expanse is James Holden floating around naked in the air with some blonde chick. Yes, I did. I turned it off. I didn't watch it again for like a month. And a friend of mine, you got to watch it, George. I said, dude, I don't know, man. It seemed kind of not so good the first time I watched it. But once you get past some of that stuff, it is actually a good series.
Yeah, I don't get past that.
And
stuff.
They make up all of their all their curse words are made up words. They did
so
a good
now
job.
this book that you wrote, Ember and Stone, that was the book that you gave me to read as a good primer for Megan O'Russell. So what's the premise of the story? Because you've got a strong female protagonist in there.
Yeah, that's one of my that could go in my branding. Here, I'll put it on my business card. Strong FMC. But Ember and Stone is about a world that is ruled by 7 guilds, and it is illegal for someone to help anyone when they're ill unless they are a gilded healer. Our strong female heroine is an ungilded healer, which is punishable by hanging, and her mentor is killed, which begins a very long journey of revenge that leads her to become an assassin. But it's not the kind of assassin origin story where it's like instant training with a blade and now I'm great at killing people. It's more, what tools do I have? How can I use them to do what I have to do?
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm really proud of with Enna, the heroine in Ember and Stone, is that she has no quick power-ups. It's everything that she has, she is working for.
Yeah. What's interesting too is I really didn't have any idea of what she looked like until later on when she was being leered at and stuff like that, that you finally get the idea that, wow, she's really attractive, but you don't know that at the beginning, at least for the first 2/3, 3/4 of the book, you don't get that she's really a looker as well as being a serious kick-ass chick.
Well, because she never sees herself like with
But
her
it's great how you did
escaping and
that,
trying
so
to
that-
stay alive. It's like it's not in her face all the time, and she's not worried about, am I pretty? She's worried about, am I alive? So it doesn't become important until then.
Yeah.
And
That's the thing. It's really cool how you did that.
yeah. I don't want it to be, there is something there. Pretty privilege is very much a thing. There is also a lot of power that comes with embracing sexuality, but that is not where her story began, and it's not vital to her as a person. So that's why I wanted everyone to know this is the person. Okay, this is what everyone around her is seeing as this happens.
Yeah. No, that was cool. And we also talked about when we were in there, because I asked you if you're familiar with any of Orrin Hubbard's stuff, you talked about fear in that writing style. So you're talking about there on his style of writing, so it didn't leave you not being able to sleep at night, but it definitely created, impact. So
yeah, it's that kind of it's almost like sexual tension in a slow burn romance. Like it's the anxiety of, I don't know what's going to come next, that draws you forward instead of the next slash and burn moment.
Yeah.
So it pulls you along in a way that you're not constantly afraid of horrible images flooding your nightmares. Like when I accidentally listened to some of the It audiobook with my husband, that ended very badly for me. But you have that suspense and that worry and that fear without, entrails and slashing and those things coming at you. So it's sort of the closed door version of Thriller.
So I got this cover.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is like, because he writes his books. That's like the granddaddy of psychological thrillers. So up to the point of the horror was like slash and gash. It just leaves you like, it affects you emotionally. Like I used to watch when I was in high school, I used to watch horror, type stuff. And then I just like, there was one particular one I saw once, and that was the last one I ever saw. Okay, I'm done. Where torturing this girl is like, why? It's like, I don't need that to get any type of a emotional rush or whatever like that. I just don't need that. So that's the last time I ever saw a horror. I just don't need that. But
I love a horror comedy like Happy Death Day. I can do Terrifier. You could not pay me enough to go into that movie theater. No.
Yeah.
It's funny because most of my friends aren't into horror. They're into a lot of things, just not horror. And I was one of the groups that the station's in. A lot of people there aren't into horror, but I know it's a big thing because they make it all the time. You got Stephen King's work all over the place, and God knows who else. But it's I've never been a big fan myself, but I like adventurous type stuff or fantasy type stuff, so it's easier on me. Anything space related, I'm happy with. I've seen some space horrors. There's been a few out there that were kind of scary, nasty. What, Jeffrey? Everybody who watched Jaws the first time didn't go swimming for a year afterwards. It didn't matter who you were.
Oh,
it did not matter who you were. Nobody went
I
swimming.
watched that movie, and then I was in college. Claremont, I went to San Francisco to visit some friends at Stanford, and one night we went out, to the beach and went swimming, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a piece. I was out there. I was the furthest one out, and then a piece of seaweed under the water brushed against my leg. And that was like, that was it. I was like,
I'm out of here,
I
buddy.
couldn't get back to shore fast enough there. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was awful, so I couldn't go swimming at nighttime anymore after that.
Yep, my husband actually, part of his job is horror movies because we live in Orlando. So he works at Universal Studios, and one of the jobs he does is he is in the horror makeup show, which they teach people about the horror movie genre and how horror makeup works. So unfortunately, our household has become a horror forward household, which was not what I thought I was getting. But the horror movie genre is still going quite strong, branching in a few directions, one embracing psychological and comedy, the other going for sheer, oh no, that's bad. Yeah. But I get dragged through Halloween Horror Nights is like a massive haunted house. They build out sound studios for this. Like, it is huge. And I go every year to all the haunted houses. So, I learned a lot about the new movies, whether I want to or not.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think as society gets more and more numb, so with the various medications and drugs and all kinds of, people get numb. And so you need, the horror gives you that, like, that will give them a little sense like, wow, what was that? But for them, it takes a lot to even just get like, wow, okay, to get a little bit. Whereas you or myself or Joe something can come up and just, you can react. You don't need the super intense injection of something into your heart to get you going. It's like you're already going, just like, whoa, you can enjoy it without having to have all that super insane stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely learned to have an appreciation of things like fear, or like, oh, what's it? There's a horror movie called What's Inside that it is very much a horror movie, but it's about, it's this house party, and this person has a device which allows people to body swap. So they end up playing a game where they body swap, and it's trying to guess who's who. And the way they play with light to show like who's in in whose body as like horrible things start happening is actually really cool. So I've learned to appreciate things like that, or Happy Death Day, where it's almost like farce physical comedy, just gone the gross direction. Like, yeah. I've learned to appreciate that, but there is a lot of horror where I just I can't do it.
No, why do something that's going to have nightmares and you'll be sleeping, you're going to be dreaming about for years to come, or like you don't go into the closet, or you have to check under your bed every night before you go to bed, or you make sure the TV is unplugged, or whatever it is that you've got that you need to do because of what you saw and it's triggered whatever it's triggered. It's not worth it.
So my like biggest childhood fear that sticks with me didn't come from a horror movie, but it's about things falling out of the closet on me, very specifically, like opening a closet door and having everything collapse. Specifically because I opened a door in my home as a child and actual real bones tumbled out on me.
Bones?
Hundreds and hundreds of bones. Now, granted, they were animal bones because my mother was a zooarchaeologist. 7-year-old me did not know that. I had just opened a door and bones had fallen all over me. And ever since, like any closet where I'm like, is it going to fall? Is it going to fall? So yeah, like I have a fear of bones in closets, but that came from real life.
Wow. Yeah, I used to had my brother that we shared a room when we were growing up, and I would scare him. I'd talk about, okay, make sure there's nothing under the bed, or did you check the closet? Or there we had plants growing outside, and so when it was windy, the branch would like brush against the screen over the window. I'm like, what was that? Who's there? I'd scare him, but then it pushed back on me. Then all of a sudden, I started getting afraid. We're like, is that really just the branch, or is that really somebody else? It backfired on me. Everything I did to him backfired on me. And then I was like, Oh no. So I'd sleep. I'd sleep instead of, because I like to sleep on my back. But because I got myself really afraid of somebody breaking into the house, and ours was the first room that somebody would come past if they broke in. And so if somebody came in with a knife and they're going to stab, I'd have to sleep. I'd turn sideways and put my shoulders like this and my head like this, totally uncomfortable, so that if he came and stabbed, it would stab in front of my chest. So because I was trying to make it look like I was laying down like that and stab in between so that I wouldn't be killed. I was just totally.
I love childhood logic. That was a great safety move for you. Like you were getting your internal organs out of the way. That was really smart of you.
Exactly.
Like that's good reasoning. I unfortunately grew up in the house where like there's so much like town lore about it and myths about it that I don't even know like what haunted mystery horror type things in my house were real or not anymore, because like people would show up in our yard when we didn't want them to, looking for ghosts.
Wow.
You got to watch them ghost hunters. They're crazy people, man. I got several that work for us, so they are crazy.
I lived in a building that got featured on Ghost Hunters when I was living in Newport, Rhode Island. I was living in Mrs. Astor of like Astoria and the rich guy on the Titanic. That was her son. But I was living in her summer mansion. It was a job. It was weird. But Ghost Hunters had been there to record an episode about this girl in a yellow dress who apparently walked down the stairs all the time. They had been there for like a whole filming before I got there. It was interesting.
Wow. There's a lot of weird stuff like that. I mean, New Orleans is a big haunted city. It's an old city. Lots of nastiness happening in it. There, matter of fact, about a decade and a half ago, a little longer than that, I had to turn in on one of our customers because I went out. They had a house on magazine, this Purple and Black house, that a group of goths had taken over. Actually, they were necromancers, is what they were, but they took over the place. And I got a maintenance call. My company got a maintenance call, and I said, I heard a lot of weird stuff. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring one of the guys. I'm gonna go take care of the call myself, which was rare because I said, anyway, I'll go out there and we're walking around. And we're in the property. And anytime I'm on a property, I have permission to go anywhere on the property I want by the owners as an inspection, just to make sure their property is being taken care of. And as I'm walking around, I noticed a smell come out of the room. So one of their members had died and donated his body as a sexual thing for the group. Oh, yes. And they had it in there for a little while. And they were taking pieces of it for spells and having regular sex with it and stuff like that. And I told the girl, I looked up at her, I said, sweetie, this is illegal, right? He donated a body. I said, no, no civilian can have a dead body in their house. I said, now I have to inform the owner of this. And I said, and as soon as I do, he's going to call the NOPD and they're going to come out here and arrest you. I said, if I was you, I would contact somebody to come get this body before you end up doing jail time. I said, because your name is on the lease. And she's like, you're kidding me, right? I said, no, I'm not. She said, well, why do you have to turn it in? I said, because I don't have a choice. I said, it's part of my contract with the customer. If I see anything, including drugs, I said, doesn't matter what it is. If I see something that could cause the property damage, I said, I have to turn it in. And I said, you have a dead body in someone's property that looks like it's been embalmed. So it's a little while old. I said, I don't know how long you've had it here. And I said, I said, I'm telling you, you want to deal with this before the press and the media and the police get hold to it. I said, because it's going to be a nightmare after that.
Wow.
I don't know why did it. It shouldn't have, Michael.
That's a hell of a day at work.
Yes, it was very strange. It was a very strange. And then the guy that was with me was like, he couldn't even believe it happened. And she says, Joe, was she offering her sex not to turn her in? I said, I don't know what she was offering, but it wouldn't have mattered. I looked over, I said, do you really want to have sex with a girl that's been sleeping with a dead guy? I thought he was going to heave right there. His face down. I just started laughing. I got in my truck and said, come on, we got to go. He was like, I don't believe this, man. It's part, it's just part of it. And people take their magic and their stuff serious. I mean, If you ever go, if you're down on one of the above ground cemeteries, like cemetery 1 or 2, you'll notice there's some graves in there with all kind of X's and all kind of stuff that have left behind for the spirit. It's supposed to be Marie Laveau's graves. So people go there all the time. They sneak in at night and break in and leave stuff behind and make wishes and X's and leave her gifts and coins. And one of the curators, one of the workers there said they have found coins, 200-year-old gold doubloons left to her. You know, you can't leave it. Somebody's gonna steal. Reach the leg, you can reach out the grave and grave or something. Besides, it's not even where she's buried. She's buried out where her house used to be, out in the swamp. And so it's crazy, but you see a lot of this. Oh, what's his name? Nicolas Cage. He was living down here. His house was so haunted, he moved.
Wow.
Plus, he made a mention of it one time on some TV show, and every ghost hunter on the damn planet was trying to get into his house. This place was haunted long before he moved in it. The rumors of this woman who used to walk up. So he lived in a house that had like a courtyard built into it. And you'd walk up the stairs and there'd be another set of stairs, and you could look around outside and inside from those upper stairs. And the woman used to walk up and down it on a regular basis. And then she'd leave and walk next door to the restaurant, which happens to be the Court of Two Sisters, and which is like 100 and something years old. It's a very thing. He said he couldn't take it anymore. He said he'd wake up sometimes and have his door open. He'd be looking down a hallway and she'd just be standing there looking at him. And he said, I don't think she was looking at me per se. He said, but I didn't want to take a chance. I said, it started happening too much.
Yeah.
So he's, and
Anyway, yeah.
It's a spooky place to live.
The
Good place if you're a writer, though.
What's that?
The apparent ghost in my house where I grew up, we were there my mom owned that house for about 30 years. It was built in 1812. It's in upstate New York in the country. It was the church across the street burned down. So for many years, all of the funerals were held in my house because it had an arch in the parlor. So they used it for that. But the big ghost that was supposedly there was Louisa, who wanted to marry the younger of the two Brown brothers, which we lived in the Browns' historic home. But her father decided she had to marry the older brother. And on her wedding day, the younger brother rode past while she was at the altar. She saw him through down the aisle out the open door, and he rode west and never came home, apparently. But she died very soon after in childbirth. So apparently she's the ghost that haunts my childhood home. And it was this huge local legend that people would like bring old memorabilia that had to do with Louisa and drop it off at the house because it was possessing their homes and they had to return it to us. Someone dropped a painting off on the porch in the middle of the night because it was disturbing their home.
Wow.
Yeah, people get like that. I mean, some of that stuff freaks them out. And that's a good friend of mine. There's an urn sitting on his fireplace, man. He didn't know what it was. He said, that's been there. He said, since I inherited the house. He said, I'm pretty sure when my mom inherited the house. So she said, what kind of furniture? He said, I wonder if it's worth anything. I said, you don't know what that is? He said, no. I said, lift it up and look at the bottom. He said, somebody's name on it. I said, yeah, whose? And he said, that was my great grandfather's name. I said, that's your great grandfather, you idiot. He's like, he sold the house. He sold the house and moved out.
Did he leave the urn?
Yes, he did. He said, I don't care who does whatever with it.
I'm out of here.
His wife was having a fit. She said, I don't care what, who, what, where, whatever. I'm out of here. And the sad part is he'd been wanting that house for a long time. It was an old house, lots of pretty stuff in it, lots of unique architecture. He said, nope. I don't care. I'll build my own damn house. I'm out of here. And he never been back in it since either. He moved out. He just like,
wow.
I said, dude, you grew up there. He's like, he said, the whole place is haunted. I said, did you see any ghosts growing up? He's like, no. I said, then what? He said, once I knew there was a dead person in my house, I'm out of here. I said, you just could have took the dead person out of your house.
If you live in anything built before like 1920, there's been a dead person in your house. People used to die at home. Like that's just how it was. There's been a dead person in your house. Like whatever.
We have found that's like my wife had found. She's a manager in apartments, and she went to go check on a tenant. She'd been dead for like 3 months. It kind of just melted into the couch. I think the dog had eaten like 2 of her fingers off or something. So It's you get you see those kind of things. I mean, people die. There's not many places somebody's not going to have died. I mean, really, if the building's more than 50 years old, odds are somebody's died there. It's especially when you live in a busy, crazy city like New Orleans. And it's like if you dig 2 feet in the city of New Orleans, it bleeds this weird, nasty black stuff out the ground. God knows what's in. I won't even let my guys touch it. I'm always like, you better have gloves on or something, because there may be some typhoid in there, some black plague. God knows. I mean, it's a 300-something-year-old city that's been leaking in the ground for that long. So I don't want to know what's in there. We're really cautious when we're working downtown, but
That is very fair and not something I would have thought of.
I know. Justin says, do you have a website where he can find some of your work?
Me?
Carly, yeah,
Yes.
he's talking. Carly's saying the same thing. They're just asking if you got a place. They want to go look and see what you got. They say Justin says she sounds very interesting.
Oh, thank you. So my website where you can find everything is meganorussell.com. So that's meganorussell.com. That's where you can find all my books and everything. You can also find a link to my podcast, the Page by Page podcast. And if you listen to that, you can get an entire paranormal mystery book for free, audiobook style, through the podcast.
How many followers you got on your podcast?
So I started it out in a weird way.
That's
I
okay.
have like all totaled, it's like 4,000 people who are following Page by Page and Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer, because the book and the podcast are so intertwined. I can't separate them.
There's
So
nothing wrong with that.
what the Page by Page, it's technically Page by Page writing the book in real time. What I do with that is that I have a paranormal mystery series. It's the Laurel Dale series. And every week I write a chapter in that universe. The chapter goes out in full audiobook style on the podcast.
That's
I
good.
happen to have a voice actor as a husband, so I put him to work, because why not?
Yeah.
If I have to put up with the impressions, I'm going to use
That's right.
them.
You might as well use them. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so we've gotten through all of book 1. We're a third of the way through book 2. I will say, like, if you are a no language person, it is not for you. It is a full language heavy show. There is not heavy sexual content or heavy violence content, but if you want some PG or PG-13 language, it's not going to be there.
If they're listening to this network, they're used to hearing people say things they should.
So that is in there. But yeah, so that is Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer and that. But we did the Kickstarter. All of book 1 is getting shipped out to the Kickstarter people, and then it's on Substack, and then it has like a side novella. So I've sort of been building this universe out, and the podcast is like this side arm of it. It's been a very interesting project, and I did not know what I was getting myself into when I started.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than most people realize, but a good podcast can sell a lot of books.
Well, it was one of those I was facing, like, do I want to put my time into Amazon ads, or do I want to actually create content that will last and people can enjoy?
Well, you just do both. As you're creating your content, you cut it out as pieces and use it for ads. That way let me tell you what, the way the AI and all is working nowadays, use a lot of things you can do. So you can be in your podcast, you can go back, have AI tell AI I want this, and this out of my podcast. It will go back and clip it out, clean it up, set it up for you. All you've got to do is publish it. And even some of the newer ones will even publish it for you. I'm actually working on a series with an AI, and it's really good. But a lot of our hosts already use AI to clip out, because, these days, those short clips are what's in on Facebook, on X, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Instagram. Those little 5-minute clips, 10-minute clips, like TikTok. That's what's popular, and that's what gets people to your podcast, because they listen to it and they go, "Wow, I really like this chick," and they go back and listen. Plus, these days we offer television both on Roku television and on Fire Stick, and real FM AM broadcasting. So it's a little different.
I've been doing things the hard way.
Yes,
Thank
you have been.
I did not know that AI could make the video and the audio work.
Oh yes, there's a lot of things. We my station manager.
Oh, I've been doing it hard way.
We have 45 hosts on the network right now, so they all share with each other anything new, anything fast. They're all working at the same goal. They're all looking to either turn it into money, or they're using it for getting out information, or for selling books or artwork or whatever. They all have a different thing on it, but The smallest listener on the network right now is probably somewhere near 300,000 listeners.
That's
Well,
amazing.
it takes a little while to get there. You got to remember too, they're worldwide listeners, so you don't see as much money off of them right away because you don't know what countries they're in. You do if you ask me, but if I don't tell you, you have no clue. I mean, because the U.S. is actually our 7th largest audience. It's not our first. Overseas we have bigger audiences in Europe and China than we do here, and but it makes sense. I mean, Europe has 500 million people in it. China has 1.4 billion people in it. India has 1.3 billion people in it. So you've got almost 3 point something billion people living in a little spot this big. Yeah, they're going to have a little more listeners there to listen to. But the TV is great because, especially when you're doing illustrations or you're doing stuff, people can see your face. I notice this show is actually designed to sell books and stuff. That's what the whole Saturday lineup was actually designed for that, because we were having so much problem selling stuff on different shows because the range of people crisscrossing shows is so different. One week we might be talking something paranormal or ghosty or politics, like on the chat tonight. Tonight we'll cross 26 topics tonight, across probably close to 180 countries.
Wow.
So so you get a lot of different feedback. But for somebody like you, once you get a dedicated audience, whatever it is, whether it's, we own 44 social media pages that everyone has access to. So we allow all the hosts to use them. The hosts can all interact. Best part about us is we're not cookie cutter, unfortunately.
I love when we're not, unfortunately, like
we're not
what the standard is.
Yes, we're not. We're not.
Also very cool with that.
So, it doesn't matter what religion you are. I don't care. I think we represent about 14 religions right now. We represent all American politics, from libertarians all the way through. And somehow or another, even in panel shows, they don't kill each other. They prove to me all the time that they can still get along, even though they hate each other's politics, which is amazing, because usually when we're talking politics, somebody's getting upset. Somebody's going to get, especially since I'm a centrist, because that makes me an equal opportunity hater. I can piss off both sides like whoop whoop and just have fun the rest of the night.
Are you a youngest child?
No, I wish. Unfortunately, I'm not.
Because I love doing things like that too. And my sister's always like, it's because you're the younger one.
Yeah, well, the young ones do like to cause trouble. My son, he's the youngest. He's a terror too. But no, I mean, there's a lot of good things in it. You can move a lot of stuff. It also helps to put out a lot of information. And by having the podcast, especially when you do specific things, like you're trying to teach somebody something or you're trying to show somebody something, with the video and audio, people get to see your face while you're talking, which helps people to determine right off the bat, does she know what she's talking about or not? In the old days, people, that's why they would look for voices for radio that had authority to them. Even though the person may not know what they were doing, the voice was enough to sell it. Today, well, everybody's on TV today.
Yeah.
I mean, even right now, you're going out to Roku and to Amazon, which probably have about 200,000 people watching between them. And then you're also going out on 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Rumble accounts, and Twitter. And I mean, X. I keep wanting to call X Twitter again, but Blue Sky I don't use. I try to stay away from it. It's a little too I ain't gonna say no. I can't say nothing nice. I'm not gonna say anything. No, people, I'm not hating on Blue Sky. Y'all use it all you want for what you want. I said I just do different things. So if all I want to hear is a liberal point of view, there's other places for me to go hear that. I'll be honest about it. But I like platforms where everybody has a voice and everybody can scream at each other and cuss each other and still be friends afterwards. Amazingly, and then we do a lot of the hosts do a lot of panel stuff with other type topics and things. We do food porn, which isn't real porn, but it might as well be porn. It's they pick a food topic, and you'd be surprised how many people will sit and listen to a bunch of people talking about food. It is freaking amazing to me. 3 weeks ago, we had 4.6 million people listen to us talk about how to make different dishes.
That's amazing.
I want to click in the channel, man. Give me the remote. Give me the remote. It's but we a couple of our I did a little chefing myself, but a couple of our hosts are actually quite good cooks. So, and Amelia gets on there. We put out some really good recipes. A matter of fact, we did it a couple of months ago. This lady was writing to us about all the recipes we gave her. She's like, God, my Thanksgiving dinner was so different this year. She said, Joe, you know how to cook everything. I said, not everything, but a lot. I mean, I'm from New Orleans. You need to learn how to cook down here. You don't get married. Yeah.
My husband loves Food Network, and he always gets mad because as soon as I walk in, I'm like, I don't like it, because I just get jealous that I can't eat it. Like,
so you got to tell him. Men are
eat
supposed to be the cooks. You see, he got something in his head. Men are supposed to be the cooks, not the women. Women got other jobs. Men's supposed to be doing the cooking.
He does most of the cooking. He just won't do what's on the TV. And I'm like, no, I want the chocolate.
Oh, so listen.
I need that.
So I decided to expand my repertoire in recipes. So I started, Alexa and I are having an affair, and we've been doing a lot of cooking together. So I say, Alexa, I want to learn how to make this sauce or that sauce or this sauce, or I want to learn how to make this. So she'll just start telling me what I need in the recipes, and we'll start going through them. And being that I'm Cajun, I'm always going to change the recipe a little bit, but it always comes out really good. Matter of fact, I was teaching my son how to make shrimp scampi the other day. And he was like, Dad, there's no way this dish is this easy. He said, he was intimidated because he thought it was a really complicated dish. It's not. Angel had pasta, some shrimp, some garlic, some butter, that maybe a little bit of the Pope and the Holy Trinity, and that's about all you need. And it's good, man. Jimmy, the Trinity it's onions, parsley, and celery. Oh, no, onions, parsley, and green onion. I'm sorry. Or celery. You can make you one. And the Pope, of course, is garlic. Yes. So, and there's nothing in the South that gets cooked that don't have garlic in it or onion. You can forget that. It's just not going to happen down here. It's not. And if you're a really bad cook, you got these two products you can buy. One's called Tony Chachere's Creole Seasoning, and the other one's called Slap Your Mama. And all I can tell you is start out with it lightly because it's really good seasoning. But if you use too much, one of two things are going to happen. It's going to get too salty, or it's going to get too hot. So anytime you're cooking with Creole seasoning, don't add your own salt unless you're sure, because most of them Creole seasonings got a good salt base in them. Yeah, it'd make anybody a good chef. Yeah, that and a little Lola's hot sauce, man, you'd be the best chef ever. Yeah, we no, see, that's where people make the mistake, Carolyn. We don't cook hot food down here. We cook seasoned food down here. There's a difference. Some food is very hot and spicy because of seasoned cheese, but all food down here, everything we eat in the South has at least 9 seasonings in it, at least, and that does not include salt and pepper. Because it's how we were all raised to cook. I'll go in my backyard, catch you some some speckled trout, soak a little milk, make a little light thin batter, put them on it. It'd be the best trout you ever ate. Fresh out of water in the grill and in your stomach in less than an hour. You can't even ask for better than that. That's what I'm talking about. You see, we get on a porn thing. That's why we call it food porn. Because once you get into the topping, it starts rolling. It just takes over like a porn show. It just keeps on going and going. You can't stop it. We've actually had to set rules about it because what happens is people just start asking questions or sending stuff in, and it gets out of control.
So with that in mind, being out of control,
we got to go.
Authors Quill. And so just one last thing then, because there is Writers of the Future as well that originally connected me with Megan back in DragonCon. So for those of you that are aspiring writers or artists, do come and submit. The quarter is going on right now. We're in year 43 that started this this quarter. So we're in about ready to hit December, the last month of the first quarter of year 43. So if you're aspiring writer or artist, do submit to the contest. It's free to enter. You've got you can't win if you don't enter. And you can't also make yourself a writer if you don't submit to the contest and just start writing. So Megan, you've got your own story with respect to how you got started as a writer, but it's like you got to write if you're going to be a writer, and that's what Writers of the Future is all about.
Yep, you got to jump in. No matter how you do it, got to jump in both feet.
Yes.
Michael, I don't know what happened to your text. I don't know why it would have disappeared. None of us deleted it, I can tell you that. But I know we got to get out of here. Very nice meeting you, Megan. I always like meeting people who have strange ways of thinking. I couldn't quite look for the words I was looking for. Well, no, let me just say it this way. I like people who are outside of the ordinary, everyday
I
people.
definitely fit with that.
Some people are just so boring. It's unbelievable. But y'all did good tonight. It was 4512896. I had it sitting on the screen for me a few minutes ago.
Wow.
So that's a total between the two shows you aired on today. You hit over 8 million. So now
Thank you so much for helping me get involved with this. I am as a podcaster and author, I am so thrilled that I had this opportunity, and it's been such a joy.
Yeah,
And it was great. We're able to do you at the same time with podcast and on the show the same day. So that was really good. A double whammy.
And they'll be up behind each other. Yeah, they'll be up behind each other. Plus, this will go up. These all go up automatically. All the video feeds go up automatically, except for Roku television. Everything else goes up automatically. So now some of the radio feeds we still have to put up manually. But all this, as soon as I hit finished in a minute, this just publishes to Rumble and SoundCloud and not to SoundCloud, to YouTube and Rumble and X. Just boop, it's up. I don't have to do anything. I have to edit it unless I want to. It's done and over with. And since most places
up my game.
Yeah. And remember this when you're doing podcasts, and because especially since you like to say stuff you shouldn't, YouTube, you will probably have to edit or make private because they're a little stricter, but everybody else does not care. Rumble does not care. Amazon does not care. You can say whatever to bleep and bleep and bleep and bleep. They don't care. They don't care what kind of material you use. They don't even care if you're using other people's videos. The only one that seems to mind is YouTube. And they have gotten a lot easier. I'm not going to lie. Since the orange guy took over, they have gotten way easier to deal with. They cost me a page that used to make $6,000 a month. They just took it away from me. Never even told me why. They just took it.
Love it when that happens.
Yeah, that was just, and that's another thing. Once you get it with us and then you get with people, you can monetize all your pages. All of my Facebook pages, all 44 of my social media pages, every one is monetized, every one of them. And since we can do automatic publishing now, I don't even have to publish to my Facebook pages unless I want to, because like these videos will publish automatically. And the other thing about doing your own podcast is when you have a system like StreamYard, you can use that to do updates and let it automatically publish to 8 places at one time. So you don't have to sit there and publish it. Anyway, I just look any podcast. I try to help them out. I was there myself. I started
Mind blown. Thank you, sir.
So that's just ways that it just allows you to reach more people at a faster pace is what it does.
Yeah.
And that way, if you want to do like updates, instead of going on your Facebook and update and copy and paste it, everything, you don't. You go to your StreamYard, you do your update, you hit send, and it goes to everywhere you want. And then if you really want to, you can go to those places you sent and share it from there to other places. And every media we're on, like SoundCloud, it shares us to at least 8 other podcast sites. Same thing with Podbean. They share us to at least 8 others. Spotify shares us to 6 others. All together, we're on about 250 podcast sites. So everybody, so even if you only got 1 click per show, you were still getting 250 a week.
Wow.
And that's if you are pathetic. If you just think if you get 10, you're getting 2,500. If you get 100, you're getting 25,000. And that's just basics. That's just simply because of the volume and the way we're spread out. And that's not including the 200 live servers. Actually, a little more. We just recently added Berlin, Singapore, Buenos Aires, Stockholm, Reno, and Seoul have all been added to our station this week. That's just places. If you're living there, you can click on your internet and get us. God knows how. I forgot how many servers we're on in China now. For some reason, they think we're like speaking. I wish I could go spend some time over there. I could probably make some serious money. I can't. Going to China these days is a little tough for Americans. Actually, the embassy tells us not. When I had actually asked to go do a lecture tour over there for 2 years, and when I checked with the embassy, they were kind of like, as long as the Ukraine's at war with Russia, you might want to stay out of the area. He said, because you never know if it might escalate, and then China may decide to take their side, and then you'll be stuck in China as a prisoner of war. I was like, well, you just depressed me, dude. Thank you very much.
Yep, that'll kill your plans real fast. Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, we're not going to do that, but I know we got to get out of here, so we're going to get because I got to go eat and I got to be on another show. And
I got to parade to get back on too.
Yes, and he's got to be parading. So, guys and girls, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the UPROnTalkRadio.com family. Hope you enjoyed everything you listened to tonight. Of course, like I say every week, if you got any moans, bones, bitches, or gripes, feel free to write to Michelle DeRoche. She handles all that stuff. She loves it when you call and tell her something like she's a dumb girl or something. She loves that. Please write to her and tell her those things. And yes, you do know she's like a voodoo princess, people. Be careful when you piss her off. Just warning you ahead of time. You might send something to your house that you might not like. So I'll just be careful. That's all I'm saying. But she is our station man, and she does do a wonderful job taking care of everybody on the network. And I love when people write to her and ask her to fire me. She always calls me laughing her ass off. Joe, this guy said I got to fire you. I said, well, did you tell him I own the network? People are so stupid. Well, we got to go and thank everyone again for tuning in to United Public Radio. Again, y'all have a good night and have some good fun. We'll be back with the chat. We'll be talking about, well, let's just say everything we'll be talking about on that show will be R-rated and leave it at that. On that night, good night and stay tuned for the chat. See y'all in an hour.